Hey? You should be cringe. I had something on my mind. All right? When you're putting out your stuff nowadays, it feels so damn cringe. You're trying to push your content and stuff, but it's like, it's cringe. I'm not doing SoundCloud, but I'm doing other shit. Like, I'm trying to make videos on like tarot and spirituality, and I feel cringe. So then I started journaling about why am I getting in my own way when it comes to content creation? What would it look like if I just went full cringe and stopped caring about what other people said? What kind of content would I make? What kind of creator would I become? And so then I journaled about that. So I'm gonna share that a little bit. I think I'm in a similar boat with a lot of other people that are creative, but have no idea where they want to shape their outlet. And I think work, a job, capitalism always gets in the way of that every single time. Then also it's cringe to make art and have people watch it because they're gonna critique it and they're gonna think that they could do this better. I mean, anytime a movie is watched, think about all the Letterboxd reviews. We all have taste, we all have an opinion, we all got something to say. But when you're the artist on the receiving end, it's really, really hard to want to create when you just know that there's people out there that are gonna gun for you. I keep telling myself I have no ideas whatsoever, but then it's like I do have ideas. I just don't want to communicate them because I don't want to be cringe. I don't want to be a freak on the internet. Sometimes you just are a freak on the internet. I saw the other night on TikTok, if you want to make content and you don't know what your audience is, think about where you were 3 years ago and make content for that person. I was watching like hour-long rants on religion and spirituality, and I was just craving this like intense knowledge of like what to do in the world, like what's the point, what's the meaning of everything. I just wanted to know like what the is going on and like what do I do with my time and my energy, what's my purpose in all of this. And growing up Christian, like I wanted this, except I was talking to someone that didn't want to talk back to me. God's talking back to everyone else. Is it because I don't know. I mean, it's always hard for me to think of what to say and what to say that will keep people engaged and actually want to say it. What do I have to tell the world that would be so damn important that anyone would give a fuck about? I just get so scared that I'm putting myself in a box. And once I do that, there's no going back. Because this is what I want to talk about. Philosophy, self-help, spirituality. I'm scared to even just take the first step and make anything because maybe further on down the road, I'm gonna screw myself over. No. If you're in a position where you're already scared to make content because you think it's gonna be cringe and you're already worried about future expectations of people and putting yourself in a box, well then you're never gonna create to begin with. It's never gonna happen. And mind you, I wrote this morning, so I'm talking shit about me right now. Next, what if a friend sees it, or even someone I'm interested in sees it, and would they be turned off and walk away? And when you put anything on display, if you make songs and you make music and you make paintings and poetry, you put it on display, people watch it, and then that is associated with your character. You might be terrified that you put out content, maybe that's a little bit edgy or maybe that's cringe, and then that's associated with your character and it could turn you off of potential mates or even potential friends, and they think, oh, it's that weird guy that makes YouTube videos about X, Y, and Z, or that weird guy on SoundCloud that has no idea what he's talking about or saying. So people can get turned off, walk away, people could interpret it wrong, and that scared me so much that I could be making content about witchcraft or something, and then someone who's interested in me looks at my name and they're like, oh, this guy's a fucking psycho, like I gotta run. Just that anxious thought has me turned off and cringed when it comes to making any sort of art whatsoever. But then the advice I give myself is, okay, you're scared of what people might think, again, and that's getting in your way of creating anything at all. Well, maybe those people shouldn't be around to begin with. Surprise, shoddy. If you're already scared of what someone might think, you might as well get it out now than worry about it down the road. Because say there's a guy that's interested in me and then I don't tell him anything about this stuff, and then he comes and finds out, gets turned off by it, and leaves like 3 months down the road. Well, you might as well discover it now and see what I'm posting now than to worry about it later. That's the advice as well. You should be creating art with... You know what? Okay, I'm just gonna say it. You shouldn't be creating art with anyone in mind. You shouldn't be creating art for other people or what might please them. You shouldn't be creating art that is going to satisfy critics and the fans, because then you're already creating for art outside of you. You're not doing it to come from a place inside. I think there is a difference between like creating an art and then wanting it to be monetized and then having people like buy into it, because then you really kind of should start thinking about, all right, the audience likes this, the audience doesn't like that. But even then, you should be allowed in a creative space to put out ideas. I think it's perfectly okay for musicians to flop. And I saw another TikTok today of someone talking about how like everyone just deletes everything nowadays. And I have also been a victim of this. I used to try to make YouTube videos when I was a teenager, and everything, it's wiped, it's gone. But why was I doing that? Because I was scared of being cringe. I was scared of judgment. You guys might be in a similar boat. You want to create art, but you also kind of want to look cool and keep your image up as well. It could ruin your aesthetic, it could ruin your interpretation that other people think of you, it could break off people in your life. But you know what? As my girl Mel Robbins says, let them. I'm a firm believer, even without art in the picture, if someone is in your life and they're judging you constantly and they're critiquing you constantly, which is just bullying, then get them out. Get them out, because what are they doing to contribute to your life besides bringing you down? Friendly critique and friendly criticism can be a good thing, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about people that are turned off by you, by the content you put out, by the art you put out. And maybe you just gotta let them. And I'm really trying to like hold in on that, because I want to create content based on like the occult, because that stuff is just so fucking interesting. And I love how it's its own system and it's its own rules to create change in the universe. But I'm so terrified that like a bitch from Tinder gonna go see my YouTube video and be like, oh, that guy's a whack-a-mole. Well, if this is something I want to do full-time anyways, then maybe you just gotta let them. Maybe they're just gonna walk themselves out. Oh, another thing I wanted to bring up. What if I wanted to do more in the future? Trying to read my own handwriting and it's like chicken scratch. What if what I create in the present impacts my honor or reputation in the future? What would the internet critics say about me? And this makes me think, because I've always thought about creating music as well, but if you kind of put yourself into like, I'm a YouTube content creator, and then you do like music later on, people are like, oh, now everyone wants to be a musician, everyone wants to write music now all of a sudden. If you hone in on a niche and you are you putting yourself in a box, and are you going to regret that box in the future? Maybe 5 years down the road, I don't want to be in that niche and I want to switch up. But maybe that's also okay, because I think again we're entering territory now where it's like you're refusing to create because you're scared of potential future. You're scared of maybe wanting to switch up. You're scared of people. You're scared of your reputation. You're scared of just trying anything. And now it's like we're living in a fear up here. Meanwhile, we're not doing anything down here. And then it's getting a little bit embarrassing now. I'm saying this about me. I should be embarrassed about myself. I am so often falling into the pit of cringe. And like, I really want to make a video about this, but what if XYZ sees this? Or like, what if like I go into work and people like make fun of me? And you know what? At the end of the day, fuck them. Fuck them all. Fuck them all. Art should be prioritized and it should be protected. But again, you put art out there for the people to see it, and then you're always gonna get no matter what you do. And you see this all the time online, especially within female artists. I've noticed, or like female musical artists, is they can never be perfect. They can never be perfect. They can never do a flop. They can never do anything. Maybe they're doing too much, or maybe they're doing too little. They're always being critiqued by fans, by haters, by everyone in between. It doesn't matter. It's just like, how do you want to create and put it out there when there's always going to be someone that doesn't your shit? And there's always going to be someone that has much to say about it. So then I started writing about Doechii. I love my girl Doechii. I love her art. I love her music. And I love that she came from a YouTube space as well. I really resonate with her story because she's talking about having to work and having to do capitalism, and then meanwhile wanting to create and having this like spiritual urge to be something greater than herself. And then in one of the songs I was just listening to by her, she said something about like no critics and no fans ever got an award. And I was like, wait a minute, run that back real quick. No critics got awards, no fans got awards. It's the creative that gets awards and they get the praise. And so then that made me think, oh, it's like kind of hashing on that, like you should not create to please the critics, but you also shouldn't create to please the fans. You shouldn't create to please any of those guys, because they're not the ones that are going to get the recognition at the end of the day. They might help you get your recognition that you deserve. The work that you put in is what creates everything else. If you sit there waiting for the perfect response, or you're creating art to get the perfect response from your fans or your haters, it doesn't matter which one, because they're two sides of the same coin, you're never going to get anything done, and you're never going to get anything. And this is where a lot of the problems are coming in, is you don't want to create because of all this stuff. But we have to keep going back to you don't want to create at all, period. Okay, so we are scared of creating content or creating anything because we're scared of how people are going to view it. We're scared of our reputation, and we're scared of like backlash, and that's preventing us from creating at all. And that's not what we want. That's not what we want. What else am I talking about? Because again, what if a potential, oh yeah, and then I just harp on like, what if like someone I have a crush on like tunes in, sees my work, and is like, oh, that's weird, bye. But you know what, again, like fuck him, fuck them. If I'm talking to you and you're having people in your life that are disowning you or putting you to the side or whatever because of the art that you create, then I would tell you, get rid of them. Let the trash take itself out. And then if a crush did see it, like, wouldn't you want someone to be with you that supports your work and supports your creativity, rather than someone that gets with you just to what? Like, just to what? Just to hate on you and be a hater? And walk himself out anyways? Upfront weirdness prevents later on betrayal. You better be cringe now instead of holding it in just to be showing your true colors later, and people are like, ew, that's weird. Get out. You might as well let your freak flags fly right now. Hoist them up. I just made this TikTok video on luxury brands. I was reflecting on a creator that talks about kind of like this luxury lifestyle. Perfect. Now we can watch TikToks together. This guy. I love his content right now. I've been eating it up. This one, the elites use taste as a way to keep you out. That's the hook. Great content, check it out. But even if you match your wealth to some of these other people, you are going to fall on your face, because they're still gonna like suss you out and then not involve you in their social circle. And that's kind of what that content creator was saying. The elites use taste as a way to keep you out. My response was like, yeah, we want to get that because that's what we're sold. We're sold on this idea of that, like, you break out of the working class and then you can finally go and be with them. But the trick is you go up there and then they suss you out, and then they don't want you there anyways. They just see you as like someone who's like a fake, I don't know, something like that. My point to that is, like, you can try to match their aesthetic to blend in, but the issue is blending in. You can curate your aesthetic, you can curate your content and everything to match what is seen as regal, luxurious, to match what the elites are doing, but they're always gonna suss you out, and they're always gonna think you're lesser than because of your background. It's a pitfall. In my eyes, it's not gonna be worth it. It's not gonna be worth it to pretend that you're some wealthy person and that you come from a culture of wealth, and just to blend in so that no one will know that you once were working class or something, and you don't have the taste that the elites do. What the fuck is the point? Let people have money, let them have fun, especially if you're working class. Sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of a break. Sometimes it's nice. The issue is when you try to match the culture and the taste of other these elites that are spitting on you. They're spitting on you. They're spitting on your family. They're spitting on your friends. They're spitting on where you came from. And you're trying to match up to that, and you're not being authentic now at this point. I really like the idea of like having good taste and being knowledgeable about trends and like what's working and what's not, and what's like high quality and like highbrow taste. As he kind of points out by the end of his video, it's like you just gotta be you at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you gotta be you. You just gotta be you, because you could work your fucking ass off from being a working class person, get all the way to the top, just so you can blend in, just so you can finally have made it, and then you're still spit on. You're still pushed to the side. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. Anytime that you're trying to blend in or pass, and you're failing to be truly authentic because you're scared that maybe if you wear the wrong thing, then people are gonna disown you, or if you say the wrong thing, you're gonna be disowned, or if you create the wrong thing or create the wrong aesthetic, then people are gonna shun you. And it's like, damn, now we're just going, oh, hit that camera. Now we're just going back in a circle of like, you might as well just create nothing then. You might as well just give up. But that's not the answer. The answer is to be truly authentic with what you are and what you're trying to do, because then no one can look down upon you. If you're truly living your life, if you're truly authentic, because then it looks like if a group is up here, they think they're better than you, whether it's financially, culturally, whatever, which, let's be real, that's just like colonialism. Let's be real. All these elite circles and their elite taste is colonialism, it's classism. Let's just call it what it is. If you're worried about people looking down on you and spitting on you, the best thing you can do is just be authentic, because then you'll have something that they never have, because they're also up in a rat race trying to outsmart each other, outlook each other, out-taste each other, whatever you want to call it. And they're looking silly too. And then so you have a group of silly people trying to compete with each other, spitting down on you. If you're living in your truth, there's nothing to fear, there's nothing to worry about, because then you're the trendsetter. If you are truly being authentic and you truly don't give a damn what other people are thinking or they're doing, then you are creating a path that no one has ever created before. Yes, you use inspiration from other people, but you're doing something other people haven't done before, and that in itself should be rewarded. And I think that is the answer. Not trying to chase, not trying to get up in a level with other people. It's just being you and being authentic. And yes, it's cringe, but you have to do it. Because then the alternative is that you try to blend in and you try to pass in whatever way that means, but then you're not being authentic. And then you're holding back your creativity. If that's the life you want to live, so be it. That's okay for some people to want to blend in, but that's not what my inner creative wants. That's what my human being wants, because I'm scared of rejection, but my inner creative knows it has to be rejected in order to truly create. So I'm so worried about how people could perceive me that I'd rather risk doing nothing than anything at all. I mean, if you're watching this, you might have the same issue where it's like you're so much worried about all these other risks or all these other factors that you risk doing nothing. And what is better? Living in your mind of anxiety and playing it safe, or risking, what's better for you? Living in your mind and thinking that it's a safer place to be because you're just being anxious and risking creating nothing, or creating anything you want and risking being in your mind. Yeah, okay, that was good. All right, that was good. But for real though, if you're listening to the pundits, you're listening to the critics, that's almost worse than listening to your inner critic. Because you're trying to, you're gonna take criticism, you might as well take it from yourself. Do it for yourself, at least be cringe for yourself. Again, is it worth the risk of doing nothing altogether? Talk about nothing because I'm scared. How do I can't read my damn handwriting. I don't know why I do this. Como se dice, how do I get our it besides to take the risk? What? Okay, I think I'm trying to ask, how do I take that risk? Like I've already just said, would you rather talk about nothing because you're scared, or would you rather just take the damn risk? So it's like, which one? Which one? And then it goes along with being a trendsetter is being truly authentic. Just take the fucking risk. Take the risk. Oh, take the risk. I'm so scared of taking the risk. Are you scared of taking the risk? I think we're all scared of taking the risk. Being creative is truly being vulnerable. I don't know. It is a huge risk, but I think the reward is so much better because you get it out of your system, you get to create, which I think that's why we're really on Earth. So right now, let's say for you, if you're doing content creation, well, what about if you wanted to write a book, write a song? How do you do anything without anxiety? I could write a book, I could sing and write, I could do anything without my anxiety. Oh my God, if I wasn't anxious, I'd be fucking singing and dancing out in the streets. I'd be out there, I'd be singing to the masses, I'd be writing novels, I'd be out there doing everything. You probably feel the same way, where it's like if you didn't have that anxiety and you didn't have that fear of criticism, fear of backlash, fear, social anxiety just in general, then what could you do? My final paragraph in my journaling today just says, the only thing to fight the cringe is just to do it. Do it and fail, do it and try, and maybe our time. What the fuck am I trying to say ever? Y'all figure it out. We'll figure it out. The only thing to fight cringe, oh my God, I can't even say it. That's how you know I haven't accepted it as a truth. The only thing to fight cringe is just to do it. Do it and fail, do it and try, and maybe over time, you'll figure it out. This has been a video on being cringe, and it's okay to be cringe. If anything, be cringe instead to save yourself. Yeah, that's pretty good. Be cringe to be creative, to just do it. Just do it. Excuses, 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 blah, 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 blah. You might as well be cringe and create something than avoid being cringe to create nothing. Boom, right there.